Welcome to the Purple Rock Survivor podcast. I am your host tonight, Andy, and with me is our co-host, Emma, but more importantly, with me is our guest, Kass McQuillen. Did I say that right?
Yeah, McQuillen. Yeah. Hey, guys.
Welcome. I'm really excited to have a chance to talk to you, even though we planned it so very last minute. You were definitely one of the people that we wanted to talk to, but we weren't sure that you'd want to talk to us, so thank you.
Oh, I talk to everybody. I'm converting haters daily right now.
Well, hopefully there'll be one more day for that.
Yeah, that's what we like to hear.
I have infiltrated the Facebook Survivor group and am trolling them every day. So
that is a place I won't venture, so congratulations.
I go in there and just start talking, and people don't realize it's me, and they're like, I hate Kass. And I'm like, yeah, she sucks. And then someone will be like, is this Kass? Like 7 posts down after hearing about Rupert or Ozzy or something, or Malcolm. And I'll be like, yeah, this is Kass.
I can get why on like Reddit or message boards or something why they wouldn't realize it was you, but on Facebook it's like the one place where it's named. Like, how do they not figure that out?
Let's contemplate the users of the Facebook Survivor fan page. Why isn't Rupert on? He's only played 7 times. So
yeah, that's what I keep hearing. I'm like, I'm good. Yeah, every few months I'm like, should we have a Facebook page? And then I hear this stuff. It's like, no, we're good. We'll stick to more sophisticated medium.
Like Twitter.
But yeah, you should like Smiley. Like, yeah, Kass is terrible, but wouldn't she be great television?
I did pull that on my mom. I was trying to get my mom to say her opinions, and I'll admit she's like, she only looked at the women so far, and she's like, Kass kind of bugs me. I'm like, but she's great TV, and she's like, that's true, and Abby, so, I don't think she actually voted, but hey.
Yeah, I mean, people see my face, and they're like, what? I hate her, and that's the very reason people should vote for me, right?
Yeah, exactly. Or, you don't even have to hate you, you could like you and vote. But yeah, it seems to be a common reaction I'm hearing amongst mothers, whether it be Rob C's mom, I guess Emily's mom. Just you're not courting the mom demographic, which in some ways is kind of ironic.
Well, they're just not ready. A lot of moms don't want to admit that they are villains. Right?
We should have done this on Mother's Day. What a great message.
Well, Rob's mom, I was kind of hurt because her actual podcast, I mean, it was a little hypocritical because she didn't like Max because he was naked, but she forgave Shireen's nudity, So
well,
I was like,
I think what it is you never go full naked. Shireen went half.
Right. When you do the Donald Duck, you're okay. But, yeah, I was like, how can she hold, she put up with Rob. She should forgive me. Give me a second chance.
I'm guessing if she wasn't his mom, she probably would not have liked Rob on Pearl Island or Amazon. But the good news is, even if you are struggling to court the mom vote, as Emma also has pointed out, moms don't vote on the internet. So I think you should be okay.
Yeah, they can't find the webpage, so.
I literally set up the account for her, and I'm pretty sure, like, on Mother's Day, like, as kind of not like for Mother's Day, I gave her a real present, but, like, and I still think she hasn't voted.
Well, so what would she do voting? Be like, oh, she looks like a nice girl?
I'm trying to think.
Or does she know?
She's actually pretty good, like, for her age. Looks like, okay, no, you're good. Looks like you froze for a little bit. Sorry.
That's just my grin. Get used to it.
Remember, Kass never actually changes her facial expressions, no matter what you're saying to her. Isn't that the MO?
That's right.
But yeah,
I can't read her.
For her age, because my mom's older than anyone in contention for this season. She's 64. She actually kind of gets it. Like, she was talking about like how the can read the edit a little bit and stuff. So we text so much it's gonna take a while to try to find it. But I know she likes Shireen. She only really looked at the girls. She didn't remember a lot of, the older people, even though she's watched the show the whole time. I think
you just say, all the old ones are great, Mom.
Well, she did say she liked the idea of that. Like, even though she didn't remember them, she liked the idea of bringing the old people back, seeing, like, Kelly and Kimmy and T-Bird, although she didn't use their names. And she thought that Kelly Wentworth and Sierra could be interesting to see again because they were playing with loved ones.
But I think that's where you have the advantage, Kass. Even if people don't like you, they still have to vote for 10, and you are certainly memorable compared to some of the people you're competing against. Wouldn't you say?
I say I get a reaction out of everyone. So, and that's what you want on TV, right? Like, if you're watching TV, you want to yell at the TV. Either root for someone or against someone. What would Spencer be without Kass? He wouldn't be Charlie Brown.
No, he'd probably be the smug young man we all thought he was in the opening videos.
He'd be the villain that I was. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't think Spencer had
into a question, so I'll just get into it now, is that, this is a pro-Kass podcast. We endorsed you. We recently held a tournament of 64 survivors, pitting them in like a bracket. You were in our top 64. We made sure you were there. So unfortunately, you lost in the first round to Tony, but still, 64. That's not bad.
Well, did he have a super idol?
It was all based on fan votes, but you definitely got some, so that's nice.
Yeah.
But Kagiyan was a fantastic season. I think most people agree with that. And if they're not, they probably don't listen to our show because we spent like a whole season just raving about it. And to my mind, you are the second biggest reason why it was that great. And don't you think that it would explain to the people how boring Kagiyan would have been without Kass?
Well, we wouldn't have had Garrett's great downfall.
That started off excellently.
That was the thing of beauty, right? He spent 10,000 hours studying Survivor after he was recruited in a bar by Ali Povitz, and then he comes out there in his Chippendale glory with not a single body hair because he'd spent 3 hours getting a wax job. He told me this out there. I would sit in the shelter and look at him with his little man-enhancing underwear, and he'd be laying there. And he would lay there, and he'd be like, "Can you get my water, Kass?" And I'd be like, "I'm laying here, too." But I would actually get up and get it, because I'd never been in the presence of such glory. You guys saw my husband out there,
He looks like a lovely person.
I know, he's great, but,
But yeah, he's not Adonis like Garrett.
I had never met a person like Garrett, and they even asked me out there. They were like, "Kass, is Garrett straight or gay?" And I was like, I think he just loves Garrett. He must be in a gym. How long? You have to go to the gym at least once a day for I don't know how many hours.
Yeah, it's once a day because you actually never leave. It's the whole day.
It's just
right. And then when he told me I was like, "Wow, you don't have any body hair." And he's like, "No, I got my whole body waxed." And I was like, were you at Madame Tussauds or what? How much wax does that take? So, yeah, I was in awe of Garrett. Wow.
So was it a scenario when you flipped the vote, because basically Garrett went home because of you, the first of the people to do so. Was it kind of like a Brandon Hans situation where it's like, I need to get this foul temptress off the island?
He was tempted by me. He was like, "You and your tank, you and that tankini, I can't handle it." No, the problem with Garrett was we all knew he had an idol or a clue, right? Because he was
You didn't
selected.
believe his glorious lie at the start of the game? You were able to see
there
through
was
that?
no decision. What did you hear Jeff say?
Yeah, Morgan lied better than him. Let's just take a moment and...
And Joaquin lied better than him. Yeah, at least say neutral. Don't say, "I don't know what you're talking about." Well, they made a big deal. It was the opening to our season. There's a choice, So we all knew, and Garrett and I had some private conversations, and I had asked him point blank, "What's the deal? You need to tell me." And he said, "I don't know what you're talking about, Kass. I swear I don't have an idol." And his poker face is not that good. So I just knew we had to get rid of him. And then Jatia, I had kind of been working with the girls and Spencer and Garrett, and I wanted to be the third to either of them. But knowing Garrett had that idol, I just decided to go with the girls. and keep the rice burner, because the rice wasn't coming back, but the idol could be burned. And it was, in glorious fashion. It was good.
Yeah, and what happened there is, you sided with the women, and then one of the few times that early in a Survivor season we had a tribe controlled by women, and at least in mixed-gendered seasons. That was a good accomplishment, I would say.
It was, but for Jeff Probst meddling at that tribal council, we would have kept Shatia. But we spent an hour and a half being berated on the merits of Spencer Bledsoe while Spencer sat there, looking like a deer in the headlights. And, it was me. I called an audible. I got up to vote and said, I got to keep Spencer. Jeff convinced me, and I kind of processed it that if the executive producer is being this strong about what he wants, maybe it's probably not good to keep the rice burner for the popular people of America. A lot of people didn't like Shatia. I'm personally great friends with her, but I get it within the context of storytelling.
Yeah. So I guess that was your second act that saved Cagayan, was keeping the beloved Spencer around one more night.
Yeah, and then we had the swap, and I don't know if Spencer's ever admitted it, but I know Tasha has, and that's what happened that day. So is Shatia. So, Jeff saved him, and thus began the arc of Spencer Bledsoe. And
then I'd say the biggest thing you did that led to a more entertaining season was flipping at the merge.
That was fun.
Yeah, well, I think we'll get into that, because that's probably what anybody, like, when people meet you on the street, is that what they want to discuss? Why'd you do that? Why'd you flip on dear old Spencer? But, like, from a fan perspective, and why you should vote for somebody like yourself, is that would have been really a dull season if you hadn't, right?
Well, if I hadn't done that, we've all heard the post-game interviews. Everyone but me had final threes within that 6. I was definitely number 6. Spencer had Jeremiah and Sarah. Tasha had Morgan and Sarah, or Morgan and Jeremiah. I was not anybody's 3. So it made sense for me to go over where you could see LJ and Tony were these big egos. I knew they were going to alpha male themselves out. Trish, to me, was highly annoying, and Jeffra, a sweet lady, but, she just wasn't playing, really. She was just kind of with LJ. And Wu never spoke to anyone, and there was that infamous Weasel Wu rumor. So everyone kind of knew nobody wants to vote out Wu, right? So, and he wasn't doing great in challenges anyway, so why not keep Wu? Because nobody's going to vote for Wu. So, I think my flip was great. At the time, I wasn't thinking this is great for the show. I was thinking I need to get over here in this group, because my group doesn't like me. I'm the only old lady mom over here. I'm with all these kids twerking and talking NFL cheerleading and drinking in bars, and I'm drinking right now, but
not in a bar. That actually sounds awful, and I'm not even that old. I don't need to be around a bunch of people talking about drinking at bars. I'm
an adult. I drink at home alone.
The way
my kid
As a resident young person, I'd also would hate being around people talking about cheerleading and drinking at bars. But I'm also a special case in the sum of that.
Yeah, I had nothing to relate to them about, and nobody really talked to me after that swap. I just kind of sat there and kept my mouth shut with them. And then people actually didn't have a problem with me till I flipped. Nobody hated me. No one thought I was annoying for 20 days of the game. And suddenly I flip, and then I become the most unbearable person on the planet. Well, part of that was because people kept saying to me, "Shut the fuck up, Kass." That was like a catchphrase. I would just laugh. I'd be like, "Let me guess, shut the fuck up, Kass." Everyone would say it to me. So I just kind of laid low, and people got mad at me because after I flipped, I just kind of, I had a couple episodes where you didn't see me a lot, and that's because I knew people were infighting, and they're going to get rid of LJ. I wanted to get rid of Tasha. We ended up getting rid of Morgan because Tony wanted to get rid of Morgan instead of Tasha, which was dumb. really, when you think about it, because Tasha was a challenge beast and Morgan was a sloth. So,
right.
But that was Tony's emotions because he was mad at Morgan because she was lazy. So, a lot happened out there. But definitely the flip gave Tony the power because he had Woo and Trish in his pocket. So
yeah, like it creates a situation where Tony can flip all the way around, whereas I don't think Tasha, Spencer do anything but, vote along party lines.
yeah, and Spencer had a couple of occasions to flip it back in his favor and turn on Tony. So the interesting thing about Spencer is he was kind of in with Tony, like on the LJ vote and particularly the Jeffra vote when he had an idol in his pocket, and he never made the decision to make a move in his favor. He just went with Tony. On that Jeffra vote, a lot was going on where, Spencer could have gotten out other people, like take out Trish, take out Woo, take out someone within Tony's core too there. Everyone knew I was willing to flip at any time. I was a free agent out there. The problem with Spencer and Tasha was they were too proud to ever come back to me until the very end. You can't ignore someone for 6 days through 2 vote outs and then come to them and say, I need you now. So that's kind of what happened out there. And yeah, it was, I'm proud to be part of the season. And certainly when I did the flip on Sarah, it was really because I knew Sarah was going to gun for me. Mm-hmm. We both had personal issues with each other. She just underestimated the fact that I would, slit her throat first. She was getting ready to do it to me, and, I just did it before she did.
Yeah, it's actually an interesting parallel, because Tony did the same thing with LJ. He did it before they did. And that's kind of what I like about you. Yeah, obviously you didn't make these moves in order to create good television, but you can't help but creating good television if you're always willing to do something to help yourself. So many people aren't.
Mm-hmm. We saw it this week with Dan, People, it's hard to make...
We saw it for a few weeks with Dan. We've seen it for a couple of weeks from Sierra, so...
Yeah, definitely.
But it's hard for people when they're out there, and Jeff and I talked about this after the game, that I'm one of those people who I get that gut feeling, and I go with it. And I think the biggest thing with players who have regrets or go early is they know it. Like, you have that little feeling in you sometimes with things, and you're like, I should do this, and they wait. And in Survivor, you can't wait. If your gut's telling you that someone's going to get you next, you kind of recheck it, assess things that day, and then go for it. And that's the difference between people who are willing to just throw it all out there. When I made that move, I had no assurances from a party that I was going to be in with those 6. I didn't have anything, but I just knew they would fall apart. Mm-hmm. So my problem with the game was I underestimated the importance of the first juror, and you see it here in Worlds Apart. They sent Haley there first, and she's a nice girl. She's a nice girl. There's no bitter bone in her body, right? She's out there to have fun. She's surfing on Survivor. I don't know how much food they're getting to give them the energy to do this. But my
asked
mistake.
Rodney none, especially not on his birthday.
Yeah. Rodney, poor Rodney. He only went how many days without losing a challenge before he got to the swap or the merge? So he, jury management was my failure. I thought people were there playing, especially someone like Sarah who talked a good game. She was bitter, and she set the tone for Ponderosa and the jury. The first person you send there really sets the tone. So if I were to go back, I either would not participate in the first person being sent to the jury house's vote. I would not write their name down, or I would send someone that I really thought got it and was above all the bitterness. So, and Sarah and I are friends now, so she's actually supporting me in my run. So,
so you mentioned the Woo, and Emma had a question about that I told her that she can't ask, but I'm going to let her do it anyway.
She can ask, but I'm not going to answer probably.
Yeah, I even said when I sent it in, I was like, she's not going to answer it, but I just know everyone asks, so I threw it in there. It's not.
That's right.
She's
trying to help all the people out there, and we're like, she's never answering that.
Yeah.
No,
it's better as a mystery.
It's kind of fun. It's kind of developed into this crazy thing. And personally, I was not a witness to the incident that gave rise to it.
Mhm.
It happened back on Braun. So it would be hearsay anyway.
All right. Well, Emma, do you have another question?
Yeah, let me actually, okay. So you had mentioned, sort of the dynamics of the group you were with before you had flipped and how you didn't really fit in with them. And granted, we don't know who's going to play this season yet, but there are a fair amount. I mean, in the scheme of things, you're not really like that much like older than other people, and there's a ton, like there's some really young people like Spencer and Nat Tenorelli, but there's quite a few who are like, decade older than you, if not more.
Yeah.
So do you think, if a lot of the, older people get on, do you feel like that'll improve your chances?
I do. I like the skewing of the age here to being, I think the average for the women is somewhere in the late 30s. I think I did the math. And I think that's good to have other moms and like older women and even people in their 30s, it's just a difference in life. And then of the men, a lot of the men are like married with kids and just older and maybe have jobs and aren't, male models or poker players or college students. So I
don't
think
any of the season 30 people have jobs.
Their job is to travel around and
hang out with each other.
Hashtag dirty 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, this season they must be rich, like independent.
Sounds like a good job, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Oil drilling, who knew? We should get into that business.
Maybe not right now, but yes, in other times it's a perfect business. Yeah, no, and I've often felt like that age demographic is probably the biggest barrier in Survivor, and the show often tries to make it about other things, but it's just like there's more young people here. They're just going to hang out, and thus the older people struggle in there. And then in other seasons, when it's inverted, the young people, make their alliance of 4 amongst 10 or something like that, and they struggle.
Right. Yeah.
So,
I mean, obviously when you go out, I really underestimated the fact that I had never hung out with 20-some-year-olds. It's just not in the 40-some-year.
Nobody wants that.
Being a 40-some-year-old mom, when would I ever talk to a 20-some-year-old? Right? I don't hang out with 21-year-old men. Yeah.
You probably do now that you're a famous TV personality, but then.
Well, I answer a lot of questions about Spencer. Yeah. But, I underestimated the need to realize that there were different people out there, and not everyone was like educated, professional people who would want to have conversations that maybe we would.
I don't understand that. I thought you guys could all. It was just a Mensa meeting.
Oh, yeah. Well, the Brains Tribe was. We were a hot mess. God, what did we talk about? I don't even know what we talked about out there. I let the girls do my hair. And that was fun. But
I will say, as soon as they showed the cast and they announced it, I was like, that Brains Tribe is going to be a disaster. So.
Oh, yeah. It was just... I was in a really bad position because you had Garrett and Spencer, the 2 men under 30, and then you had Tia and Tasha, who were of similar backgrounds, and then you had me and David Sampson. All we had in common was we were the same height and weight,
And Andy and I both watch baseball, so we know about David Sampson.
Well, I had him pegged for like some engineering manager. I said he's like that little guy who can't quite make it, but he's real bossy, like pregame. I was like, he's going to be a total dick. And then he showed up in his little suit. He looked like freaking Mr. Howell from Gilligan's Island.
Nice.
And, yeah, he...
You lost everything on the internet with that reference.
I did. Sorry.
But not me, because I used to watch old TV.
I got nothing.
So for this season, one thing I was thinking is, do you think it is hurting your chances that it's a fan vote? Like, if this was just producer cast, you'd be a lock, wouldn't you? I guess that's probably too arrogant for you to say, but you're cast, you can say that, right?
Yeah, I think they probably want me back. I mean, I didn't realize it when I was out there, but yeah, I mean, I guess I am a unique character within the Survivor history.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think you like to think of yourself as a character on a TV show, but now that I've had some time to process it, I see where I fit or
Right.
don't fit, and then where it kind of just broke the mold of the mom.
Yeah.
By not being out there crying, and then just not being the mom to anyone, which I don't think, nobody would say that about me.
And certainly not now the second time. So that's at least a bit of an advantage going the second time. Maybe the first time you were catching flack because they wanted you to be the mom, and you were like, yeah, no thanks. Whereas this time nobody's going to want you to be the mom.
No, nobody in America wants me to be their mom. So
I'm sure there's one person. At least.
Presumably, yes, your daughter. It sounds like she's going to miss you quite a bit. So
she has no idea that I'm this, horrible person on TV. Although, compared to what's going on this season, I'm
A breath of fresh air, yeah.
I'm a hero,
You got nothing on
I'm
that.
a hero, and I'm glad I showed America that, or whatever was going on in that Ponderosa. That was gold.
That Ponderosa video is like the greatest thing that's ever happened to me.
I
It's just
10 minutes on it last night. It was glorious.
It was like one of the things where like I had to tell like I know like 3 people who watch Survivor like casually, and I had to like tell all of them like I don't know if you know what Ponderosa videos are, but you have to watch it.
It was glorious. I actually rewatched it, and I don't do that. The hero. I was just like, what? This is awesome, and.
I don't even.
And then the post game, I've listened to the Rob has a podcast interview of him, and poor,
You're looking better.
So hard.
It's good timing. They're like, hey, who's your villain now, people?
Yeah, who's your social savant today? Yeah. All I did was give someone the finger. And
like that would be more like if they had edited Shireen to be the villain, because from what we've heard allegedly after Will yelled at her, she called him like a fat fuck. Like if they had edited that without showing what Will had done, would be like you giving the finger to Kass.
Well,
you're Kass, sorry, to Trish.
Yeah, I flip myself off all the time too. Don't worry. I'm sure you've heard it. Trish said things about my family out there, and she did get personal. Because if you think about it, look, how many times did you see people saying I was stupid and ugly to my face out there? Many times.
Mm-hmm. And I imagine those weren't the only times it happened.
Right. And did I ever flip anyone off or even respond to them? No. So why would I suddenly...
your still Kass face.
Right. So why would I suddenly break... over nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Here that was day 35 or 36 that Trish went home. So it's totally out of character for me to suddenly be flipping someone off. And because I went through a lot of crap out there, and I think I just laughed at everyone. I just kind of was like, wow, these people are nuts. But everyone out there cussed me out. Probably the only person who didn't cuss me out was Woo. In reality,
you didn't have to talk to do that, so
yeah. And LJ and Jeffro were never rude to me. Jeremiah was never rude to me. But post game, he said horrible things about me. I'm like, Jeremiah, we've never even freaking spoke. I don't know why, but it's a bandwagon thing.
Yeah.
And I also found the uproar, like, from sort of the fandom community about that, like, flipping someone off so, like, weird. It's like, really, who gets offended by that? Like, if someone, like, flips it, it's just like, okay,
Yeah.
like...
Yeah, it's like the only time it really happens in real life is, like, in vehicles.
Driving. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
I
that's
own
a
that.
gesture I can move on and ignore. Like,
Yeah. I own that finger, and I would give it to her 1,000 times over. She called my daughter retarded and my husband a limp dick faggot. So, I'm sorry.
That's crossing the line.
Yeah, I think, and then telling me even post-game about my parenting skills. She's gone on record post-game interviews saying that I'm a horrible parent and stuff. And that's just crossing that line of kind of like with Will and Shireen saying nobody loves you at home. How do you know anything about me? You don't. So And I never said anything about her parenting. I know both her daughters' names. I could tell you everything about them because I listened to her talk about them. So, yeah, that woman is, to me, horrible. And, she's the only person in the history of the game to be so horrible someone quit rather than be around her. So if I gave her the finger, I gave her the finger. I didn't quit. I sent her packing and flipped her off. And I say, fuck you, bitch. Because she is a bitch.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's, instructive because I think, obviously we are fed an edit. And people buy into that, and they, the rules. You were cast as villain so that, Spencer's underdog edit will look better and Tony's eventual win or whatever. But there's a difference between game villainy, which all you're doing is voting people out when you say you won't. Actually, you never tell people that you're not voting for them.
That's right. I never lied out there.
Yeah.
I want to
like blindsiding people or turning your back on alliance. That's game stuff. That's telling people that you have sixes when you're holding jacks in poker.
Right.
But saying things about people outside of the game, that's like genuine villainy. That's where the morality of Survivor comes into play. But people still think you're a villain, and I think you're just going to have to, slide into, and you've done a good job of steering into that skid.
Hey,
but I think,
why not?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Sandra was cast on the villain's tribe, so...
But what did I really do that was mean? I mean, there's a difference between playing the game kind of cutthroat and then actually being a mean person.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, a lot more people were mean to me. They attacked my appearance, they attacked my personality, but what did I really do to them other than backstab them?
And lie about your chosen profession. That was pretty evil.
I didn't lie. I am a reindeer handler.
That's true. You do have that part.
It was an act of omission.
Okay.
And no one actually ever sat down and talked to me to find out anything about me. So my lie never had to really be revealed.
No one went,
like
but
being in a
have
brain
a
tribe,
second
they would have been
job.
like, reindeer person. But I guess if Garrett was in the Brains tribe, everything was off the table.
The whole Brains tribe was lying. Jatia was like, I work for the government. David was like, I work in marketing for a Major League Baseball team. Spencer was somewhat honest. He didn't tell us he was a chess master until he met Jeremiah, who clearly needed to be impressed. And
then he got to impress everyone by, I'm actually a model. I didn't tell any of
yeah. Guys, I've been keeping this big secret. I'm a male model. And everybody's like, crickets.
Yeah.
Wow.
But,
tell that to the construction worker.
He's not good buyers.
On Brains Tribe, people were so individual and such strategists, and the minute we hit the beach, I didn't even introduce myself for 10 minutes because everybody was talking about themselves. And then I assessed that these are all people who are very full of themselves and trying to downplay it, but they can't. So I'm going to be like, well, I'm an animal handler. I said, I have a degree and stuff, but I think I'm here for your common sense. Especially after the shelter and all that. And they believed it because I opened every coconut, I wove every palm frond, I built the shelter after I let Jatia do her thing. The men didn't know how to use a single tool. They never used a hammer, they couldn't tie a knot. And I remember going to David and I'm like, you're a dad, you have a house, do you not know how to freaking do a repair? Because I'm married to a guy who does all the man stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's not sexist of me, but, he's going to go out and, that's his thing. He's got his big shed and his barn, and that's where he goes and fixes stuff. And I said that to David. I'm like, haven't you ever, fixed something in the house? And he just looked at me like, now I know. It's because he really has never done that.
I imagine he has people. Yeah, I was going to say, imagine he has people do that for him.
Yeah. And Garrett had
do it.
Garrett had those soft hands, like that movie Trading Places. Did you ever see that when Dan Aykroyd's in jail and the prostitute looks at his hands and oh, you've never worked a day in your life, and takes him in? Anyway, that's another 80s reference that no one will get.
That Andrew probably got it.
But yeah, his hands, he didn't have a callus, so
He probably doesn't even shuffle the cards.
And then, yeah, poor Spencer, college boy.
Just a quick time check here. How much more of your time do we have? Should we go into rapid fire?
Whatever you guys want to do.
Awesome.
Let's go.
This is really interesting stuff. So if you're going to have to be the villain and you're going to have to get people to vote for you, even if they can't vote because they like you, I think you can convince people to vote for a villain or two. I think people would get that. But you might be competing with some others. So why should they vote for you instead of Abby Maria?
I think they should vote for both of us because what if we're both on the same tribe? Yeah, with Shane. Yeah, and then I listened to Michaela's interview with Rob. She sounds like she's fired up and ready to cause some problems. All these women sound like they want them big moves, and I'm like, do it, go, girls, because I'm gonna sit back and watch. I made moves because I had to, not because I wanted to. So I say, vote for me, and I would say vote for anyone with a caustic personality or that did something on TV that made you just yell at the TV or get angry, because that's good TV.
What do you think your biggest obstacle will be if you get out there? Is it surviving the first vote? Is it convincing people that you're somebody that they can work with? Yeah,
I think both of those things. There's some rumors out there that no one can trust me, but actually I was pretty loyal to Tony in that alliance until we got to the final 5, which was our deal, and that was my first real alliance where everyone in the alliance actually spoke to me. Okay. So one thing, and everyone's saying it, work on the personal connections. I think almost everyone has said that who's a candidate. And then the first vote will be tricky because what are people going to be looking for? Are they going to go after the alpha males? Are we having some kind of redemption island, which would be kind of cool because there's so many alphas in the mix, but kind of horrible for someone like me who's not a challenge beast?
And horrible for everybody because redemption island is terrible?
Well, and it would really constitute a third chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Technically. But what if they have, the duels and the exile that they had from Blood versus Water 2? I can see that happening because you have so many good physical players and rivalries, or, what if you have Terry and Shane or Terry and Vetus, that'd be cool. Tasha and Michaela or something, some very physical people. It could make for good TV right out of the gate. So I can see them doing something.
Spencer and Steven, that would be fantastic.
Maybe Spencer and Joe or something, or Joe and Lou.
Yeah, poor Steven would get crushed.
Steven.
Unless it was memorizing the numbers again. He did that really well.
Maybe me and Steven.
There you go.
We both have to take our glasses off and compete. But, you can't really have a game plan going in because I think it's going to start out like heroes, villains. We're going to get on the beach and they're going to be like, let's go, let's wrestle, or drag each other around and pop some shoulders out and break some toes. And that's horrifying to someone like me. But, I think that's going to be the way it goes.
Yeah, to show just how badly you all want this.
Yeah.
And so the past 2 weeks haven't shown that enough.
Right, and I'll probably be throw me out as a sacrificial lamb. Let Tasha carry me a la Colby and Coach. I don't care. I don't care if I'm humiliated because I know she's a beast, so let's just let another woman win rather than have me be humiliated by T-Bird. So, but, you go through these scenarios. This is actually a horrible way to do it, to know who might be on. You can't sleep at night if you're a candidate. You're just like, what's going to happen? Where are we going? Who's going to be on my tribe? And you just really start messing with yourself. So
yeah, I can imagine knowing, sort of who's going on, but not exactly who's going on is really tricky. And then, so since, a lot of people from your season are potentially part of those people, would you rather would you rather have all of the Cagayan people on it so you have familiar faces, or would you rather start totally fresh and have none of them there?
I'd rather Spencer and Tasha go over on another tribe so that they're targeted, because they're very linked. They ran their Mr. and Mrs. Survivor campaign together and all that. And I'd just like to start new. I mean, I know there's some pregame stuff going on out there, or I hear it. I don't want any part of it. I just want to go out and, see who we're with and who knows, production's going to mess with us.
Yeah.
So
I can see them doing something like Schoolyard Pick to really mess with you guys, and then put it all out there. Like, let's see where the audience is.
Or they're going to match as many people together as they can. Like, if you and Spencer are both there, they're going to want you on the same tribe. Just like if Jeff Varner and Kimmy are both there, they want them on the same tribe.
Yeah. And,
as much as they don't want, like, all the same, seasons together, they also want that, like, pre-established, like, fire,
Yeah, but... Yeah, I hope that doesn't happen. But if that would happen, I would think Spencer or I would be targeted early, because they're going to want to break up anyone with a pre-existing alliance or a connection of any kind.
Mm-hmm.
So
maybe that's what would work out, like that your public non-alliance with Spencer. Nobody would suspect it, so then you guys could actually work together for the first time ever.
But the thing is, Spencer, anyone that you beat in the game and resents you. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, they're going to do so much to get ahead in the game, but what's going to mess up their game is they're always going to be like, I've got to get Kass. Like, I think Tasha and Spencer have this need, and I listened to one of Tasha's podcasts, and she said, well, of course I want to beat Kass. And I know, I haven't listened to any from Spencer, but I know he... that was humiliating for him to lose that puzzle after 20 minutes on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then call me a brain-dead weasel and get voted out. So, those things stick with people. And it's fresh still. It's just a year ago that we were all sitting in LA watching our own finale. So I don't underestimate the fact that they have some latent resentment against me. So would we work together? I mean, if I had to, I would work with them, but I would never trust them. And I know they'd never trust me. And I know they want to get, like Tasha said in one podcast, I want to take that knife out of my back and put it back in that person's back. So, I believe that.
And if that all sounds very interesting to you people, go out there and you need to vote Kass in, because it can't happen otherwise. Because I think we all know that Spencer is probably going to be voted in. He's won a few internet votes of recent times, so.
And he's one that if the casuals are voting, like, at all.
Like, if you would have had a sprint player of the season in Cagayan, it probably would have been him, because of all his master plans coming together and his complete inability to ever control a vote.
Yeah, I mean, how was he so great when he was so many times on the wrong side of everything?
It's just typical underdog stuff. It's why people cheer for the Royals against the Yankees. So, one last pitch. Why should everybody vote for Kass, even though all of our followers, I imagine, are?
Preach to the choir.
Yeah, let me preach to the choir. Are you guys pro Spencer? Who are you?
I mean, I think honestly, go ahead, Emma. Sorry.
Yeah, well, because for us it's interesting because, Andy and John and, like, then by sort of proxy me and our other friend Matt, found Spencer fairly entertaining. But there was on where we tend to, like, comment and stuff as the AV Club, and there were a couple of people that were so, like, weirdly, like, vehemently anti-Spencer, like, way in the other direction, that it kind of almost made us be like, well, he's not that, we were neither pro-Spencer nor were we, like, viciously anti-Spencer, it's just like, he's a character, he's the underdog, people like to root for the underdog, that's really all it is. At least Malcolm is charming and handsome.
Going on.
Actually, I don't even think Malcolm's, like, everyone always thinks Malcolm is hot, but he kind of looks like one of my cousins, so it doesn't really connect to me, but, like, objectively, I understand that people feel that way.
I'm not into the man bun.
Oh, God, I hate it.
Like, we've literally had this conversation where you said any good-looking guy in a man bun would just look that much better if they cut it off, right?
Yeah, we had this whole email about hair. It was so strange.
Well, part of my problem with the man bun is my brother has always had long hair and always had it in a ponytail, and now he's like balding and he's starting to look like Michael Bolton. And I fear that for people like Malcolm and Joe, that they will never let go of this. Like Troyzan looks freaking ridiculous.
Oh my God, Troyzan's cast photo.
The cast photo looks like my high school yearbook with the guys who came back from a Van Halen concert. Like, you got Woo. Woo, what were you thinking?
Woo is the other one, yes.
Woo, Troyzan, Joe looks like he just came from the dog pamperer. You know, his hair's all crazy big.
Yeah.
I mean,
the problem is with Joe, I feel like if he had short hair, he would look so young because it's like so curly. I feel like it'd be very hard for him, and he has such a
like
pretty
NSYNC
face.
JT. Justin Timberlake, not the.
Right. I was like, I didn't hear the NSYNC, so that threw me out. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was like JT. What?
Yeah,
Like, did you have a look?
I mixed my genres there.
We're such Survivor nerds that we can't like think of other.
I know. I was like, JT, they look nothing alike. Let me tell you, Joe, my niece, who's in 6th grade, I was up at my in-laws' house, and she was like, do you know Joe? And I was like, I don't know him, but we're, like, following each other on Twitter. Do you want me to ask him anything? And she's like, oh, yeah. So then he direct messaged me, and I asked him to FaceTime us. And I kid you not, she was, like, in tears. She was so excited, and he was so nice. She was all, woo. And he was, like, trying to ask her questions. And anyway, so I've never really met Joe or talked to him without, a 6th grader present. But I gained newfound respect for him to just, like, drop everything he was doing and, FaceTime this kid.
He seems like a sweet kid.
Yeah, he was nice. So I have a new little place for Joe in my heart because he would do that, which I've asked Spencer to do for girls before, and he's never responded, and I've asked Woo to do, and he's never responded. So,
well, there we go. The pregame alliancing with Joe is already happening.
No one would see that coming.
via the 11-year-old set, yeah. But, I think it speaks volumes because he's very popular right now, and he didn't have to do that. And when people I've actually met asked to do that, and they say they would, and then they flake out. So I just think he's actually a nice guy. So vote Joe or don't. It's too soon for any of the Dirty 30, really.
It is a little tough, typically you get like one, maybe two back to back, and now it's like it's gonna be like 5 of them out there, or 4. We'll see. But thank you for doing this.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, guys. Well, thanks.
It's great talking to you.
Send me the link.
Will do.
And you guys have a good night.
You too.
Thank you, and thank you for everybody for listening.
Vote all the old people too. No, I mean not age-wise. Yes. I mean like I'm voting anyone like pre-Survivor 20, just automatically because I want to see how they play.
Well, you also want us to vote age-wise too because you think that'll help you, right?
Yeah, but
really, anybody who played 15 years ago is by math a little older.
No, I freaked out when Andrew Savage walked into my elevator in LA. I like fangirled over him.
Yes.
Our friend Matt is obsessed with Andrew Savage. Like he was on the podcast we did with him, and I think he was gonna cry.
He's freaking hot. He walked into my elevator because you're not supposed to run into each other when you're at the casting things, and I don't know how we ended up on an elevator alone, but there were some fantasies I had thought of many years ago that could have been enacted if I was able to speak. And then I told him going in to film his video, he was coming out, and they had made him change shirts, I guess, because of the background we were all doing our pre-things, and he was talking to someone on the way out, and I just awkwardly blurted out, well, you should have just taken your shirt off. And I was like, wow.
All the votes?
I was like, good job, Kass. So smooth. The only thing in your life you've ever said to Andrew Savage is, you should have taken your shirt off, you 55-year-old hunk. Like, hashtag dad bod.
Yeah,
he does not have a dad bod.
I don't know what he's got under there.
I guess hopefully we'll find out.
If we're on the same
I doubt
track,
he'll strip completely naked like he did in that one challenge, but who knows?
I'm gonna see his briefs. Not in the lawyer sense.
Not in the legal term, yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean,
You
for
could have a
someone,
lawyer alliance.
there's some hotties. I mean, for my demographic, these are some hot guys.
No,
No.
I mean, I don't usually like go for the older guy thing. That's never really been my jam. But Andy Savage, not bad, not bad.
Savage. We can salvage the savage. He's
And
pretty
great
hot.
name, great name.
I know. I just want to yell it. Like, I don't even want to get into it. Like savage. Like, damn. That's good stuff.
And I thought you guys were saying the great name was Andrew. I'm a little sad.
Oh,
right.
I know, yes. Even I don't think about that.
Sometimes I
What?
forget that's your name because you just are Andy.
so yeah,
Because I'll never be as grown up as Andrew Savage.
you should have tapped into the dad bod conversation here.
I would have gotten-
I hear
I
that's
could
a
have
thing.
laughed and you guys could have chatted it up. But
No.
I'm pro dad bod. If that's actually a thing, I'm not sure it is,
Have
but
you not heard? You're on the internet, Andy.
I've seen it. I just don't actually believe it. It's like when they say, "Oh, I love nerds," and it's like, no, you love like hipsters in glasses. You love like Jake
Adam Brody.
Gyllenhaal being a nerd or something.
Have you guys thought about what lives in Max's beard if he's on Survivor?
I forgot to ask him that.
I have actually weirdly met him a couple of times now, and so far I've seen nothing crawl out. So I'm hoping everything's okay.
Yeah, I've met him. So nothing crawled out,
Yeah,
but yeah.
but
All
I mean,
right,
I'm in LA, so I see beards like that all the time because it's like,
A thing? That's
yeah.
a thing?
Yeah, I mean more in like the Silver Lake Echo Park area, but which is not where I am. I won't go into that.
Just tell everybody where you live. All right, so everybody, vote for Kass, vote for Savage, vote for Joe, and T-Bird, and Jeff Arnold,
PG.
and all the crew.
Showmans for Kass and Savage.
There we go. We're going to start the hashtag now. Thank you again so much.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
And have a good night.
You
You
as well.
too.